Hello there, my lovelies. Daniela here, and it is my day 9 of my video challenge. So tonight, as we are chilling out here, is Saturday evening. Today, Frank and I went out and had a day in the city, and we went to one of our favorite places to eat, which is called the Village Cafe, which sounds as delicious and homespun as it sounds. Or it is as delicious and homespun as it sounds. Either way, while we were there, I picked up one of these bad boys, which most of you will probably recognize as something that, most of these kinds of places have sitting out and about that you can pick up and read, and they are free. So I was looking through, and there was this fantastic article about, and it's right here, and it's called Awesome: The Surprising Science Behind How We Experience the Outdoors. And I read this article, and it is such a fantastic article, and it really kind of goes into a little bit behind, talks that we've had about, how grounding can affect us and how the long view affects us. I mean, that's a video from probably over a year ago, so I should probably do that one again. But, so I wanted to share this article with you and read it out to you. It's very short, but it has some really, really fantastic stuff in it. So stay tuned, and I'm just going to share this with you. So look at this gorgeous photo that they've got at the top, by the way. And of course, this gorgeous photo, there we go, try to get the gloss off of it in the back. And so I'm just going to share it with you. So, here we go. A cold front is sweeping over Pickham National Forest in the Pickham Mountain in the Jefferson National Forest, blasting a gale force winds through cliff, crowning its summit. The weather has my attention, but the trio of kids I'm hiking with are too busy to notice. They've got other business. Is this where the salamanders lives? One of them asks, wandering towards a rock outcrop off the trail. I don't know, but we check it out anyway, shining a headlamp into the narrow crevice midway up. Sure enough, the snub-nosed little profile of a green salamander peers out at us. The kids are certifiably stoked. Let me see, they yell, pushing past each other to get the best look. One of them has his jaw dropped, while another is chatting excitedly about the salamander's behavior. The third is silently staring at the animal, processing a part of the woods they're seeing for the first time. Hey, Miss Kelly. There's a common way to describe each child's reaction. The kids are in awe. We've all experienced that feeling. It may not come from something as specific as a salamander in a rock crevice, but each of us has stumbled across one of those outdoor moments that leaves us gobsmacked, which is absolutely true. Maybe it's waking up to a backcountry sunrise over a sea of valley of fog, like I am lucky enough to live in, and thank God I get to see. Or perhaps it's surviving a ride down an epic single track that straddles the razor-thin line between exhilaration and a trip to the ER, which I'm imagining is a canoe run. We've experienced something different, and it won't leave us the same, which has to do with outdoors, which is absolutely true. And this is where the article actually gets good. So I wanted to set it up, because he set it up very lovely, where you get into it and you can understand that feeling that he's trying to get you to bring up and think about, okay? So why does that feeling happen? After all, emotions have biological sources, and awe is no different. In recent decades, psychologists have been delving into the science behind awe-inspiring experiences in nature, shedding new light on an emotion that everyone experiences, but few easily understand, which is so true. I love this article. These guys are going to get to it right now. Much of that insight is coming from the Great Outdoors Lab, a collaboration between the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley and the Sierra Club. Previous work has shown that a feeling of awe stems from expanding one's horizons, right? That feeling, experiencing something different that forces you to reconsider your world. But an outstanding question has been that if that experience then translates into a longer-term well-being, which personally, I really truly believe and feel that it does, and let us know how you feel in the comments, because I feel it's true. I know that moving back into a place that has got more nature around me has definitely boosted my well-being in more ways than I could even begin to go into this evening. So, as humans become more disconnected from nature, that question becomes even more relevant. Most of our population lives in cities, and more we're spending all of our times in front of screens, says Craig Anderson, a postdoctoral at UC San Francisco. Awe is an emotion that we feel in the presence of vast things that take us out of the context that we're used to. And nature is really good at both of those things. Anderson and his colleagues tested that ability in research published this past summer, examining diaries kept by rafters, including college students and military veterans, and their results were striking. More awe-inspiring experiences outdoors can lead to improvements in well-being and stress responses, including those tied to PTSD. Huge, right? While it makes sense that a single event like rafting trip would generate transformative awe, Anderson and his colleagues went a step further, asking participants to continue to keep diaries detailing their thoughts and feelings as they went through everyday activities. Out of a list of positive emotions, amusement, contentment, joy, and pride, awe was the one most affected by regular time spent outdoors. Hey, Miss Sherry, this is a great article, so if you missed some of this, you might want to go back and listen to it again. It's fantastic, if I do say so myself. I found it earlier today. Anyway, I'm sharing this with you because this really, really backs this up, and the point of going outside and spending time in nature and how truly important and crucial that is, not only to our spiritual well-being, but our physical well-being, our emotional, mental, so on. So, I'm going to continue. Those daily moments, whether it's at a sunset or noticing flowers blooming in the neighborhood, those can make you feel awe too, which is absolutely true. Over the 2-week course of the study, participants who felt more awe in nature saw greater improvements in their well-being. Those of us who spend time outdoors know that feeling all too well. This is exactly what I was so totally agree with. But why are the outdoors so primed for inducing awe in the first place? This is where it gets good, you guys. It turns out that a love for nature might be rooted in our DNA, which I totally believe. Absolutely, duh. We came from nature. We are nature, duh. Point being, for decades, researchers have known that humans are drawn to natural landscapes. As far back as 1984, biologist E.O. Wilson popularized a concept called the biophilia hypothesis, which Wilson called the urge to affiliate with other forms of life. Right? Work since then has suggested that our attachment to nature often links to places that support psychological notions like safety in an environment or the exploration of it, which actually goes back to that conversation that I had a year ago, again, I need to do this video again, about the long view and how important that is to our well-being. And if that's something that you're interested in looking up, long view, that's a thing, the long view. Grounding is super key. Grounding and long view. Lots of well-being to be had there. So, where is it? While some debate exists about how extensive these preferences may be in different populations, experiencing awe in nature is very likely a part of what makes us human. No doubt, right? One of the very many things. An added implication of Anderson and colleagues' research is that our relationship to nature might also extend to our health, which I absolutely agree with. And this is, I love this. It's kind of like a 101 thing where it's just kind of like introducing people to the idea, but it's a great way to explain it. So let me finish and stop interrupting myself. Let's see. In recent years, medical professionals have begun prescribing time outdoors for a litany of health conditions. You believe that? I believe it when I see it in America. Good God. Love you. In Japan, a former outdoor therapy called forest bathing, that sounds amazing, has been linked to lower blood pressure and reduced diabetes risk. Hello? Can we talk about that for a minute? Here in the Blue Ridge Mountains here in America, the region's wilderness therapy programs are based on a similar principle, as are a growing number of nature therapy centers region-wide, not nationwide, region-wide. So start looking out for these things. That's a really, really cool concept. Granted, you're probably never going to get a script, a script from your doctor that simply says, go do something awesome. You'll get that prescription from me, my lovelies, though. Not gonna lie. But researchers are uncovering that there's a real scientific grounding behind that feeling of experiencing awe in nature, whether it's a through hike or getting amped about spotting some salamanders with kids on an afternoon walk. The secret to a long and healthy and, yes, awesome life, then, might lie no farther away than right outside. Absolutely true. Spend more time outside. I know it's winter, and I know it's butt cold for quite a few of us, but you get the point, okay? There's been a lot of research done into the good that spending time outside does us. And of course, it is absolutely provable and 100% true that more and more and more and more of our population overall, across the board, worldwide, is moving into cities or being moved into cities or having, you know, farmlands and tracks and things and spaces taken over and bought out and so on and so forth. So it is, I really feel, more important than ever to emphasize the crucial nature of spending time in nature. By the way, long view. Yes, Miss Sherry, look it up. It's a thing. It's a fantastic thing. There are so many great studies that have been done on it. I absolutely 100% believe in its ability to change how you feel. It changes your vibration. I forget what it was, really briefly, and then I'm going to hop off. But they've even proven that for those of us, yes, hug trees. I do hug trees. I'm sure some of you do too. If you hug trees, holler at it in the comments. I used to talk to trees too when I was a kid. Anyway, I don't hear them so much anymore. It's probably because I go too fast. But anyway, is that they've actually proven how much of a psychological difference in your well-being it makes, particularly for those of us who do live in city and do live in apartments or, you know, condos or, you know, like for the kids that are, you know, out in their dorms and all, you know, that kind of really, really close space living. It is imperative that you have indoor houseplants. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it's kind of imperative because they've done the studies. Go and look this up if you don't believe me. Please, anything I say, if you don't believe me, please feel free to go and look it up because I wish you would. Do your own research. I love it when people do their own research. But anyway, that just by having living plants in the domicile with the person, their stress, their anxiety, blood pressure, all of these things. Yeah, Miss Sherry, you might want to listen to those cards. Miss Sherry saying her cards told her to reconnect with the 4 elements. Outside. But yes, so even if you live indoor, you know, and if you can't get outside, you know, like you don't have a yard to go put your feet in, go get a potted plant and spend time with it. I know it sounds crazy, but it works. I can attest to it. I know tons of people who can attest to it. There is science now that can attest to it, so look it up. But that is my little bit for you this evening, lovelies, this Saturday evening, is I just wanted to share this wonderful article with you, the surprising science behind how we experience the outdoors. So there you are, my dears. Picked this up in my local yummy breakfast brunch place in one of these kinds of magazines. So you never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to find. Fascinating article. And please look anything up. And shout out. Let us know if you talk to trees. Let us know how you feel about it. Let us know how you feel about spending time outside. Love you guys. Have a fabulous rest of your weekend. And I will see you tomorrow for my day 10. Have a great night. Mwah.